All right, guys, today I'm coming at you with a $20 pile. I went to, it was probably the last day of an estate sale, and they had a deal, $10 per box, as much as you could stuff in it. The only stipulation was you had to carry it out the door. And if it took more than that, you had to buy another box. So it was all this stuff in the boxes here, as well as the stuff on the floor was on top of those boxes, including that Craftsman toolbox. It was heavy, but I got it out, so let me bring it into the shop and show you what I got for 20 bucks. Okay, so I laid out about 80% of the stuff that was in those boxes. So I'm going to go through this first, and then I'll bring out the rest of the gems that I have still in the back part of my garage. So let me jump in. Now, mind you, I was probably about, 13th person online, and they were letting people in only a handful at a time. So I got a lot of the leftovers of the stuff that was left, but I still think I did pretty good. And this was one of the first items I found. It was just buried. Otherwise, this would have definitely been snatched up. So let me show you what this is. All right, so this is my favorite type of Craftsman ratchet of the vintage variety, the thumb wheel. And how about finding this just buried? These guys missed it that were before me, and I'll show you. Oh, I'm gonna flip over here, but that's the old Craftsman design that I like so much. And let me just show you a couple of things that are in here. It's got almost all the original V-Series sockets, as you can see there. Those are some of my favorite 6-point. Had some miscellaneous USA-made sockets up here as well, 3H drive and whatnot. It's got the original 2 extensions as they came with. They were more of that brushed finish. Has 2 breaker bars, which is interesting. One of them's probably original. A couple of punches, T-handle. That was the original T-handle that came with it. So overall, a pretty nice almost complete set. And it's got a Craftsman 10mm. That was the last thing that this person used before putting it away. All right. I should have mentioned there's definitely a lot of items in here today as I go through this. I am going to need your help identifying and sharing your knowledge. So feel free to do that in the comment section. The next item here is a little mini hacksaw. What a perfect tool to go in my on-the-go toolbox that I did that video on recently, that you guys gave me some great feedback on some items that I needed for it to complete it. And I am going to do an update video on that sooner than later. And one of those items is a hacksaw. And look how nice. Brand new old stock hacksaw blades. And look at that. It's got the price on it. 49 cents. Sorry for the lighting here. I'm going to see if I can adjust that. Playing with the new setup in my shop as I'm getting used to filming in a different spot here. Apologize for that. That seems to be better, but as you can see here, most of these are just really new old stock, made in Sweden. Looks like the majority of them. I'll have to go through those. That was a great find. And right below it, as you can see here, a soldering gun kit. And this is a nice Weller. And what I love about this is it is truly a kit. It has the nice plastic case that goes with it. And that's just really great to keep all your stuff. Maybe I'll take this plastic styrofoam piece out at some point if I needed to add more stuff and accessories to keep all of that together. So, I mean, like I said, 20 bucks for everything I'm going to show you today. I mean, this alone has got to be a $20 bill. Next item up, I might need your help with a little bit. I mean, it's definitely got that nice green from the 70s, right? I think Black & Decker even played with these colors back in the day. Nice heavy duty. Oh, it's got some spot for oil there on both sides. It's almost like a grinding wheel that would be used, my guess, is for the kitchen, maybe to sharpen knives. Looks like it's got some high quality discs on there on the side, grinding wheels. As you can see here on top, someone wanted you to know it's electric. And I found a couple other wheels while I was digging around, so I'm not sure if these go with it as well. It runs, it seems to run strong. It's got a nice heavy duty cord to it. So if you know about this item, let me know. So I've collected a lot of these old Craftsman toolboxes over the years. They're just a really great heavy-duty toolbox, but what makes this one just slightly different is it's a little bit shorter The ones I have usually I think measure about 20, 21 inches, and this one is about 17 inches, and it's just a little bit smaller than those. And if you take a look when I open the lid here, look how nice that paint is on the inside. It's beautiful, that old crinkle coat, and it's got the great branding on it. It just shows the life of this. And if you've seen a video recently from Resto Rob, he did a nice, just like a clear coat over an old Bonnie Toolbox, and it just preserved it the way it was meant to be. And I think I've been wanting to do something very similar to that, and that would be a perfect finish for this toolbox. It's just a nice head, clean it really well, and then a really nice heavy clear coat over it to just preserve it. I think Resto Rob was calling it a rat rod look. So let me show you what's in here. All right, not going to bore you to death, but I am going to show you a couple of the cool items in here. Look how nice this is. Nice vintage Craftsman compound for the wheel, brand new. I should have mentioned, just look at this. Whenever you can get the original tray and it's in great shape, that's always a win. Sometimes these end up out of the boxes. And then just tons of really nice hardware. It's a little bit more modern, none of the older stuff, but it's really nice when you have all the packaging for it. Here's some great screws. I actually pulled a couple out of here the other day for a project. Look how nice those are. Nice, fat, unique screws. A lot of great hardware. Nice coupling. If you got to buy one of these, it's probably USA made coupling. Feels great. Some nice brads amongst a lot of great hardware in there. So let me show you what's underneath. All right, so underneath here, nothing too elaborate, but I do got some of this wire. Look at this, 1964. Is that cool or what? I don't know the gauge of it. I hope it's something I could use like in the old motors or whatnot. The electric motors a lot of times have these cloth wires on them, and I think that would be pretty cool. If not, I don't know what I would do with it. If it's like a telephone gauge wire, probably useless. I actually got two of these. One of them was in the toolbox, one was laying out, and this one is from 65. How cool is that? And I just noticed here it's called fixture wire. So I would think Underwriter's Laboratory, that is just a neat old branding in great shape. My guess is I could probably use this if it's for an electrical fixture. So that would be great. Enough here to last a lifetime. 2 rolls of it. And then looks like a brand new chainsaw blade. I'll have to see. 14-inch. I have a 14-inch chainsaw, or it could be an old one they just threw in the package when they replaced the new one. But that one, I don't know. Looks like it's still, maybe not. We'll have to see if that's sharp. If not, I bought a sharpener. I just never really used it. And a bunch of old cords in here that you never know could come in handy. As I was moving that cord out of the way, I just came across these really heavy washers that were underneath that cord, and look how thick they are. I don't know about you, but I might be the only one, but I get excited over some good washers like that. I love new old stock, and today I got a bunch of new old stock, and look at all of these Craftsman brad nails. My guess is they're made in the USA. I'll have to check and see. Pretty much everything was made in the USA. Oh no, these are made in Austria. Look at that. Definitely some value to these. Got tons of them. Looks like only 1 or 2 are open. Probably have to sell those on eBay. Keep a couple for my own collection. And look at these. Look how beautiful the new old stock is on this. $1.19 double thick buffing wheel. I wish these were the big ones, but they're the smaller ones. And I do got a little buffing wheel that I picked up a long time ago. Probably needs a restoration on it. And these are just great. These got to go back to the early 80s or the 70s since they don't have a UPC on them. And $1.19 back then wasn't cheap for one wheel, but quality stuff. And it looks like there was a couple of them that were out of the package. So those are the ones I would put on my machine until I really needed these, because I'm definitely going to preserve a couple of these in the collection of new old stuff. All right, here is a crusty skill saw. It can't be that old because the housing and the body of it is plastic. It's a 7 1/4 inch, number 537. And when I checked the amperage on it when I first got it, because I was curious if it was something I would really want to use, it's only a 10 amp. And I think nowadays most of these are running, I think, 15 amps. So I don't know if it's really going to have the power that I need it to have. But if you guys know about it, let me know. I really don't have a good electric skill saw at this point. All I have is a DeWalt trim saw, and I use my table saw. So let me know if this is worth kind of cleaning up. And it looks like I came across possibly the right size blade to go with it. If not, I'm sure I could sell it for a couple of dollars. Like I mentioned, I got a new work area going in the back shop here, and I'll share it with you. I'll do a shop update at some point in the video. I'm still kind of cleaning up some stuff, but as I'm out there, I'm looking for some accessories to go with it, and that's what I got here. I got some holders that I could use on the pegboard back here. I got some of these longer pegs. I have some of the shorter ones, but some of these longer ones could come in handy. I got this really nice brand new tool rack, and it's actually made in the USA, which is kind of cool. It's definitely older, but that could go on here nicely as well if I figure out I need it. I have one of these, two of these in the past, but never a brand new one like that, so that'll look great on this pegboard as well. And let me show you some of these odds and ends in here. So the first thing I'll show you in here is these grommet kits. I got a cheap, cheesy one here that looks like it's from Harbor Freight. And then I have one you could just noticeably tell it's heavier. You could tell that the tool in there is a lot better made in the USA. It looks like this one's been used. It's got some additional hardware added in there from Ace over the years. And a while back, I had a project where I thought I could use one of these. It turned out I didn't. But look what you could do. You could just, you just never know when you're going to need something like this for a piece of canvas, or even if you're doing something like with a tarp and you just need to add a grommet in a certain position. Just nice to have around the shop. Here's a piece of vintage grease. It looks like a grease pump, maybe for fittings. I was a little curious because the tip here doesn't have, I thought it would probably fit on a fitting. I don't know. I have to play with it a little bit. Oh, it looks like this screws off. Maybe the fitting's under there. Let's read and see what it says there. It's Almite flush type gun, model 6570F. So this would just be a fun item to clean up. It wouldn't take all that much, and display it. Who knows? Maybe I could even use it. I think I got some grease as well for it once I get to that stuff. Nice old key saw, not old, but made in the USA. Just a cheap vice grip, but I figured with myself learning to weld and not wanting to ruin my nice vintage, vice grips, this would be a great item to have. So I'm going to start picking up some of these. I would always stay away from the cheaper ones, but being that I'm going to learn how to weld, I don't want to screw up my nice USA made ones. This one just reminded me of Big Vic. This is a straight line plumb bob and snap line chalk, and I will definitely probably get this out to you, Big Vic, because I don't really have a need for this. I only grabbed it because I know you love them. And here looks like, at first I thought it was a battery terminal puller, but it's too big, so it's probably a gear puller or a bearing puller. And this item I just have to share with you. I had no idea I even had this in the pick until I was just sorting stuff through, and I said, what the heck is this? And what this is a beautiful piece of advertising. This is the way they used to do stuff. So this person must have bought something at some point from a company called Nut and Bolt Shop, and they included this in there as a free sample. As you can see there, it's plasticed over, shrink wrapped in there, nothing on the back, and it's just a sample to show you how nice of quality their nuts, bolts, and screws were. And that is just a nice piece to display. And the last item in this bucket is this Craftsman 10mm made in the USA Allen key, and it is a pretty beefy one. And then the tray itself, I thought that was a win. It's filthy and dirty, but this is great for changing oil in those small type things. Like I would use this on my snowblower, as it's just a pain in the neck to get under there. No cracks in it. Looks like it was never used, just needs to be cleaned up. Got a pile of bungee cords, can't go wrong with that. And then here's another item I might need your help on. Not sure what the heck this is. It says, I don't know, even JEC System. I guess I could Google that and see what the heck that is. Made in Hungary. Found that to be interesting. And it's like a cutter. I don't know if it's for like arts and crafts paper type cutting, or maybe it's for, I think I found this maybe in the women, I was going to say the women cave, but I think they call it a she cave. And she had like her own sewing room in the house. The guy had his tools and she had hers. And this might have been for cutting fabric. And if I could adjust this would be great to trim up some shop towels. Okay, then I'm digging through and I'm like, what the heck is this? It was buried and it was heavy. Oh my God, it's all get up. And I'm like, couldn't figure out what it was. So I had to dig into it while I was there and see if it was something I wanted to bother to try to put into the box. Because mind you, I had to make the boxes light enough that I could carry them out. That was part of the strategy. It was $10 per box. So look what's in this. When I pulled it out, I was like, son of a gun. It is heavy as all get up. It's long. Look at, I mean, I'll show you that. Let me pan it out here. It's got to be close to 2 feet long. And what this is a magnet. You know, Harbor Freight used to give away the free magnets. This was, I don't know, maybe the original version of the Harbor Freight free magnet. These are all magnets in here. And this side is, they call it a tool magnet. I think that's what it says somewhere on it. It's printed. It even has the screws that are stuck to it that came with it. You could just tell by the heads on it, you know, that they're slot heads. These are probably from the 70s or the 80s. And this would be kind of, if they weren't so darn heavy, I mean, they are heavy. I would put them on this pegboard, but it might rip it down. So this probably be more to go in a garage or on, you know, you're going to have to mount this on some studs. I can't even tell you how heavy each one of these bars are. I'm going to have to weigh. Here's the Harbor Freight one, and it feels like a featherweight compared to this. And you can see this one is considerably longer. So I got about a half a dozen of those. Not sure what I'm going to do with them. Maybe I'll sell some of those at the tool swap meet if it ever comes to fruition. All right, I just went and got the rest of the stuff out of the garage and brought it into here as I made some room. And look at these gems. This is a beautiful 4-inch Craftsman, brand new, never used wire wheel. Just, you know, that stuff is priceless. You can't find it anymore. Oh, priceless maybe exaggeration. Craftsman, little rust on it, but it was never used. Buffing wheel. I think it says Sears on it, maybe not Craftsman. Oh no, it says Roebuck. Yeah, Sears and Roebuck. What a beautiful buffing wheel. That I'll definitely use. Brand new. This I'm going to definitely use. Craftsman, made in the USA. Wire wheel, up for 6,000 RPMs. You could use this up to, I mean, this stuff is just beautiful vintage. Never used. Works a million times better than the stuff you get today that's imported. And the knees are absolute gems. Look at these. These were buried and I found them. They were hidden and I was in that house a long time digging, and these, they had all of these type of wheel accessories hidden and people just passed them by. And these, you just can't find anything like this anymore. They cost a fortune to even try to find USA made grinding wheels. I don't think they do, because I guess whatever the chemical processes to make these, the EPA and all of that. I guess if you make them in other countries, it doesn't pollute the environment. But that's a story for another day. I mean, look at these, both 36 grit, brand new old stock. You restore one of those old bench grinders that I got a bunch of, and you put a couple of these on there. That is the cat's pajamas. The only thing you got to watch out for these is because they're old. And I learned this from Gene Paul, one of our great subscribers to the channel that just always contributes so much. Says, hey, just put these in the oven on a really low heat for maybe 45 minutes to an hour before using them, and then let them cool for a day or so, and it'll allow it all to come back together. Another item that goes into the what the heck is this category is in here. I was just fumbling around and I saw it, and it had the original packaging in it. The Crit Vice bench clamp system, and it looks like it's got all the paperwork in here. Alright, so what I noticed here is this is a Sears item, and it's a peg system that would go into, if you had, I guess, something of that design, you'd need a workbench or something that had that pegs in it. So not sure too much about it. Looks like there's a complete kit, and there's some more underneath that as well. Whenever I see something complete like this, and like I said, as much as you could fit in the box for the $10, just grabbed it. All right, moving on to the last handful of items here. A lot of great paints. The price of paint has just absolutely skyrocketed lately. A can of Rust-Oleum this size, brand new gloss white paint will cost you about, I don't know, $15 to $20 these days. I got some exterior whites there. I got the little can of black gloss. It looks like it was open, but it's like 80% full. Some primer. Look at this little color. I thought that was neat. That could come in, you know, for some sort of project or whatnot. Navy blue. I don't know. I'm going to need to paint something navy blue because I got 2 brand new cans of navy blue paint there. And then the spray paints. You know, spray paints are hit or miss. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. The air, because you're hoping that they have the pressure still in them. If they're new, they generally usually do work. These seem to be more navy blue. 2 cans full. The duple color is just a nice auto paint. And that could be, you know, a high quality paint. This isn't cheap stuff. Hopefully it works. Same thing here. I got a nice blue. Look at that blue. Is that a nice blue or what? Doopy color. I hope it works. If not, what I've done in the past is I've drilled a hole in them because there's no pressure in it anyway. They don't work. And you could drain the paint out into another thing and use it. I shook it up real well first. I was kind of just used it for one project and then scrapped it. And then some clear enamel. I use a lot of this stuff. And this one seems to be brand new, so that I don't think I'll have a problem with. And this is, you know, $4 or $5. No, it's at least $5 a can these days. Back here, a couple of little odds and ends. Just safety glasses, right? But, you know, got a lot of them. But you're not going to find these made in the USA anymore. And those are brand new old stock. And as I was walking through the garage, I found this piece of steel. And that's what this is for, you know, those garage pulls. This is part of that. Usually has a handle on it, the brackets, but it's just a nice, heavy, long piece of steel that could come in handy one day for a project. Almost done, but more beautiful new old stock. Here's just an adapter, you know, for a 220 heavy duty stuff. This is some heavy duty. Love the Levitron. Did a video not too long ago where I showed some Levitron switches I picked up, new old stock, and one of the subscribers in the comments said his grandmother's been in the house for, I don't know, 80 years, and I'm probably ruining the story a little bit, but she's lived in the house for, I don't know, her whole life. She's now in her late 80s or 90s, and she has trouble actually flipping the switch of the Levitron. That's how, and those are the original switches in the house. That's how the quality is just amazing on these Levitron switches. This is one that would be used for an oil burner. Really great quality. You know, you want a cutoff switch like this. Quality, USA made, not junk like you're going to get today. So that is something I will hang on to. Here, just all brand new old stock Levitron receptacles. And I'll show you what these are. I'm not just going to show you one because they're all the same. This is for that 220, and that is just a high quality. So who knows? Maybe there's going to be a demand for these, right? With gas prices the way they are, and everyone's going hybrid. I believe you need a 220 line for you know, plugging in your electric vehicle. So I'm going to hang on to these. People, these might be in demand. And then this is just if you need temporary lighting, and you got juice, you run your cords in there. You can hang it from there, and you put a light bulb in there. So let's wrap this video. All right, not ready to wrap this video up yet. I need your help with one more item. Not sure exactly what this is. It was buried in the pile, and it's got a bunch of springs in it. It's got these little connectors, tweezers. My guess is it's got to be something for like an electric motor, components, contacts. But if you know anything about that, let me know what these are. And I also found these paintbrushes back there that brand new, cheap, but you know, brand new, one and done type things. Not for anything in the house paint wise, but you got to slap some paint on, call it a mailbox or a fence post, or do some tar in the driveway. Those work great. Now let's wrap it up. All right, there it all is. If you have not hit the like and the subscribe, do so now. Look at all that beautiful, beautiful new old stock. Love that Craftsman socket set. Plenty of paints, plenty of goodies, toolboxes, soldering irons, and much more. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.